Now, the first asset on our watch list for today is going to be the US oil spot. And in fact, since the beginning of this week, remember, we have been buying these assets all the way since the market opened on Monday. And in fact, we had a couple of more buy positions here as we took advantage of this move right up the breakout of that resistant line. So at the beginning of this week, we initially identified a range where price was confined within the $86.89 level and the $86.20 level, giving us an insight into the level of indecision in this market. And of course, you know how we do it whenever we have this kind of range. We want to exercise patience, waiting for either a breakout of the range to give us an opportunity to buy, or the breakdown of the range to give us an opportunity to sell. Now, what happened here on Monday was quite interesting as we saw price breakout, retested the resistance line there to give us our first buy position for the week. And since then, we had continued to add more position to our existing trade. As you see, we added one more here at the $87.50 area, and we of course added one more at the $88.50 level before that sell pressure came in to take us out of all the buy positions on this one. And in fact, we saw price move significantly well. Let's see how many pips. We saw about 200 pips on the first position, and we saw about 130 pips on the second position, and we saw about 50 pips on the third position. So we had roughly of over 300 pips as at the first half of this week, which is not bad at all for us. And remember, we agreed here yesterday that we shall be moving all our stop losses to secure these positions, and of course we did, and price action took us out of all these positions with a significant amount of profit. Once again, congratulations to everyone who had been part of this profitable journey. Now, going into the New York session today, what is going to be our plans? We saw sell pressure took us out of our buy positions yesterday. How are we going to continue looking out for more buying opportunities here today? Or are there chances that sellers could take over this market at this point in time? Now, before we go into the details on what it's going to be looking like for today, I would like us to run through the higher time frame so that we can have an holistic perspective into what is really going on in this market. And to do that, we shall be scaling up into the 4 hours time frame. Remember, this was where our analysis began at the beginning of the week. So let's look at this together closely. And if you look at the structure here since the last week of the month of August, it is clear that price has been on a strong bullish momentum. And in fact, we took it a step further to include this ascending trend line after connecting the series of higher lows, which of course buttresses the strength of the buyers in this market. Now, something interesting happened at the beginning of this month as we saw price confined within a range, as we have the price ranging between the $87.50 level and the $85.50 level to emphasize the uncertainty in the market during the first couple of weeks in this month. Now, with the situation we had here at the beginning of the week, we capitalized on this bullish momentum around this area, which finally led to the breakout of that range at the $87.50 level to emphatically incite a strong bullish momentum. And since price broke out of that $87.50 level, price had remained above that area. And in fact, to help us guide our trading decisions for this week, we had a trend line which we spotted since last week Friday after connecting the series of higher lows. So since the beginning of this week, we have been using this trend line to support our bullish ideas. And of course, you know that whenever we have an ascending trend line like this, we have no other choice than to continue to buy the assets. Now, with the situation we have right now, what is going to be our plans for today? How are we going to continue buying or are we going to continue selling this asset? Now, looking at the structure closely, let's see what has been going on here. We have the $88.50 level, which happens to have been broken right now. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, please. So we have this situation right here where price action has been finding higher highs and higher lows, and we had another respect of this ascending trend line as you will see here. So now the question is, will price continue to the upside, or are we going to be having a situation where this trend line will be broken to the downside to incite a sell-off? Now, to have a better perspective into what is likely going to be happening today, we shall be scaling down into the 1 hour time frame where we shall be using the $88.50 level as a yardstick to guide today's trading decisions, as if price remains above that $88.50 level, we continue to hold on to a bullish bias, and if price drops below that level, then we can start considering selling this asset. Now let's look at this closely. What has been going on here? We'll scale down into the 1 hour time frame. Now on the 1 hour time frame, it becomes a little bit more clearer what is going on in this market. So you can see what we have here. So with the situation that is going on right now, if you look at what has been happening in this market since Tuesday, you will see that the area between the $89 level and the $88.50 area had been a strong selling niche in this market, and we need to be very, very careful around this area. Now, with the situation here, I would like to remain bullish as long as price remains above the $88.50 level. So if you have a buy position, well done to you. Let's see if this is going to run through. But if at any point in time today price action drops below the $88.50 level, then we want to be considering selling. Now, there is a caveat to this sell expectations here if price action breaks down the $88.50 level. Now, look at the structure closely. The $88.50 level also shares a confluence with that ascending trend line, making it a crucial juncture in this market. So if price action breaks down the $88.50 level, price would have also broken down that ascending trend line for the first time in the last 1 week, and could be a sign that the trend line may no longer have the capacity to continue to negate that bearish attempt. And if this happens, we want to be getting ready for a momentum shift. Now, there is a caveat to this which I want to explain here. We are not going to be getting too excited when the price breaks down that structure. We are not having a sell stop order there. We want to wait for confirmations like a retest of structure to incite that uptrend move. Now, to do this, once the breakdown of the ascending trend line happens, we scale down into our lower time frame. It could be the 5, 10, or 15 minutes time frame to look out for retest of structure. What we want to see here is a sign that buyers are finding it difficult to climb back above the ascending trend line, and this of course would reflect on the chart as a retest of structure to incite a downtrend scenario. So this is the only condition that will make us want to consider selling this asset for today. So besides this, we continue to hold on to a bullish bias. Now, if price action continues to climb up and instead continues to find higher highs and higher lows, then we want to be positioning ourselves just right above the $89 area to capitalize on more buying opportunities in this market. Now, there are two ways to which we can capitalize on this momentum. First one is for those of us who have been profitable since the beginning of the week. That is, if you had bought these assets since the beginning of the week and you're profitable so far, you can afford to leverage on the profit we have made so far this week by placing a buy stop order just right above that $89 area to capitalize on that uptrend continuation. However, if you are new with us today and this is going to be your first time taking advantage of trading opportunities here, I will be suggesting that you hold on for confirmations before you jump into any position here. And what you want to be doing is, as soon as we have a breakout of structure, hold on for a retest of structure, which of course could still drop into the ascending trend line before we want to be joining an uptrend scenario here. So this is how we are going to be capitalizing on an uptrend move in this particular market. Excuse me. So that is how we are going to managing this uptrend continuation at this point. So we look out for more opportunities at the breakout of the $89 area. So let's see how the market will play out from this area. And of course, let's allow the structures to mature before we jump into the position. So our center of focus for today is basically between the $89 level and the $88.50 area, where the breakout of any of this level is likely going to be giving us an insight into the where price will be heading to for the second half of this week. So these are my views here on the US All Sports for today. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to let me know in the comment section.